town ain't big enough for the... Oh hey, didn't see you there. Welcome back to another 7 Quick Tips video. Today we're talking about Wild West builds. It's no secret that this is one of my all-time favorite build styles. If you ask me, it's one of the most underrated Minecraft aesthetics. And it's been a long while since the original video, so we're very overdue for a sequel. I've got some great advice that I cannot wait to share with you guys. Sit back, relax, and enjoy 7 more quick tips for Wild West builds in Minecraft. You gotta get the vibes right. Okay, yeah, I know that's like really big, but hear me out. This is big. Honestly, it's like the most important part of the video. That's why I put it first. Getting the atmosphere, the feels right is always essential for a good Minecraft build, but especially here. We can pretty neatly break down this concept into 3 subcategories: buildings, environment, and layout. Buildings, well, that's pretty self-explanatory. Your buildings gotta look right. There's a very distinct look that a lot of old school buildings had from those western frontier towns, and I really don't think you'll be able to nail the vibes without taking at least some inspiration from them. We'll talk more about these in the next tip, but stay tuned because equally as important is the environment. You can have the most impressive, most spot-on buildings in the world, but if the environment sucks, well, then the whole thing sucks. Badlands and savanna biomes are obviously your best options, but there's a lot of terraforming and landscaping work you can do to really get the atmosphere right. However, if your layout doesn't make sense, it won't feel like a town. Later in the video, we'll also discuss the methodology and ideas behind how these frontier towns were built and how to carry that over into your Minecraft world. We've got a whole ton of good stuff to cover, so let's get into it. It ain't a good Wild West town without some old school frontier style buildings. I've recently been making some awesome Wild West themed buildings for a little frontier town I've been making in UHC Generations, my ultra hardcore series, and they're all turning out really well. Like, look at these guys, I love them. Let's break down the design principles I've been following. 1, they're almost entirely made of terracotta and wood. You've got a lot of options here. Acacia, spruce, and dark oak are the easy picks, but seriously, I think you can use almost any combo of wood types and it'll be halfway decent. My general store is made with oak, my barber shop with mangrove, and I even made this little house in my creative world with warped wood. 2, they serve a single purpose, like a saloon, a bank, or a general store. This is not only a good way to come up with ideas for new buildings, but it allows you to decorate each one in a very fun and unique way. My saloon's got a bar and seating area, the general store has a backdoor loading bay, and the barbershop's got a giant billboard in front. 3, they often have a front face with lots of decor like a porch, signs, or windows, with the sides and the back being pretty bare. This is just how buildings were made back in the day. If you could share a wall between 2 structures, that's a lot less materials you need to use. And out here, resources can be scarce. Plus, when you're cramming your buildings next to each other, you don't need to decorate as much. Here you can see I've taken this regular old Badlands and laid down some really neat buildings. Some of these are pretty similar to the ones in my hardcore series, but a lot of this is brand new. I really like how this is coming together. But as cool as the structures are, this environment is plain. Let's change that. The vanilla Minecraft biomes can work pretty well for a Wild West style. Here's how to make them better. In my original Wild West video, I talked a bit about improving the regular Minecraft Badlands biome with some custom foliage and terraforming. And that's still really great advice. As great as the Badlands is, some parts are just really plain. Let me run through the list of all the things I'm gonna do to turn this environment from boring to beautiful. Let's start with cacti. The regular Badlands biome doesn't have much cacti, so bring on some over from a nearby desert, or you could even get creative and make some giant custom cacti with green terracotta. Sea pickles can look like little desert succulents and add a bit more greenery to your surroundings. You can farm sea pickles really easily by bone mealing them on a piece of living coral that's underwater. Mangrove roots look kind of like tumbleweed. It's a nice little bit of detail, especially since we already have dead bushes. Custom rock formations are also a very cool idea. I love putting down little clumps of granite, dripstone, or diorite across the land in different sizes, of course. You can even add some glow lichen on them for a little bit of scraggly green moss. In these lands, everyone gets around on horseback, so why not add in some horse trails? Just throw in some path blocks and coarse dirt in the vague shape of a path, and bam, there you go. And lastly, minecart rails. Don't go too crazy with them, but if we're gonna be making some sort of mineshaft or quarry, like we might be doing later in the video, then having some sort of mining infrastructure, whether it be in good condition or totally abandoned, is a nice touch. With these changes, our surrounding environment is looking so much better. But you can't just go throwing down saloons and cacti and expect to have a good build. You need some order, some organization, and some thought behind your layout. Plan how you're laying out your frontier town. It's very important when you're making your town that you don't just place buildings anywhere you want. These places are often laid out around a main road, some sort of central trail or pathway that cuts through the entire town. Sure, there can be side passages or alleyways, but everything revolves around this one road. It's where the wagons pass by, where the showdowns happen, all that good stuff. You can see here in this cute little Wild West town that we're building up that I've got a large dirt road running right through the middle of everything. It's wide enough for horses and wagons to pass through, which is really important. And here in my ultra hardcore world, instead of a main road, I've got a river. It's an interesting little twist, but I've got pathways running down the side and these neat bridges. And of course, all the buildings are facing out towards the main road. Oh, did I mention wagons? Well, I've got some great advice for adding vehicles to your build. Let me show you. Certain kinds of vehicles can actually fit the vibe perfectly. I feel like this isn't something that people think about often, but vehicles were a really important part of the Wild West experience. These little towns were often built up alongside train tracks, growing from little pit stops to entire communities as the years went on. So having a rail line run by the town or just having some connection to trains would fit really well. Same goes for caravans. Everyone knows the classic pioneer-style covered wagons that were often used by settlers and explorers as they ventured out into the unknown. Here you can see I've added a train track running through our town complete with this really dope steam engine. It's a little bit steampunky, but I think it still matches the overall vibe. And I've even added in a couple wagons over here inspired by one of my older designs for a traveling caravan. I think these two additions really spruced up our scene. You can build more than just towns. Sure, towns are the iconic thing with the main road and the buildings and all that, but let's try and expand our horizons a bit. Once you have a town like this one, maybe tack on some more features. Mining was a very big part of many frontier towns. Let's add a quarry and some mining infrastructure to finish off this project. We've built all we can build, now it's time to enjoy the atmosphere. So yeah, we've made our little rustic frontier town, sculpted a neat custom environment, and even added a lot of additional set pieces to our landscape. What's next? Well, at this point, go enjoy it. Too many people don't take the time to really sit down and enjoy the things they've created. It's just one project after another endlessly with no break. And that's not healthy. You know what? Let's celebrate the fact that we've made this. It's been a lot of planning, a lot of grind, and a hell of a lot of building. We deserve it. Turn on those shaders, pull up some Western ambiance, get on your horse or sit on your porch and watch the sunset on the beautiful Wild West inspired world that you created. It's a big, lonely world out there, but you, my friend, you can call this place home. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. You've just done a lot to help out a smaller YouTube channel, and I appreciate that a lot. If you've got any ideas for future 7 Quick Tips videos, drop them down in the comments. If I use your idea, I'll be sure to credit you. Until next time, guys, this has been Leon, and I'll see you all in the next 7 Quick Tips video.